guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And this is my 37-week update with our sixth baby. For weight, I think it has finally kind of slowed down some. I didn't go back and look at last week's video, but I don't think it's a drastic change. The weight gain for this week, I was at 184. So that puts me right at just a little bit over 50 pounds. My doctors don't seem concerned, and so it's not bothering me too much, especially since it is definitely slowed down compared to what it was a few weeks ago. So we'll go ahead and get into symptoms, and I've got them all written down on my phone. I have started to lose my mucus plug. TMI warning, if you're watching this video, this is a pregnancy update. There's gonna be TMI. But yes, I have started to lose my mucus plug. Now, that can mean absolutely nothing when it comes into terms of labor. You can lose your mucus plug many times. It can come out in like one big glob, or like mine is doing right now, it is like dissolving and kind of coming out, which is a pretty good indication that I am pretty well dilated, and that even though it's trying to regrow, I'm too dilated for it to really grow back and form like a huge one. I have started to experience lots of prodromal labor. Prodromal labor is basically like false labor. It's a little bit more than like the regular Braxton Hicks, because prodromal labor will get in a pattern. They are pretty intense sometimes, but the thing with prodromal labor is it will pick up for hours and then suddenly just taper back off. This is pretty typical for me. I've experienced this with at least the last 3 babies for sure, and this can go on for weeks, so we'll see if it ever gets me anywhere. The Braxton Hicks still do come and go, so I will have that random Braxton Hicks every once in a while, but the Braxton Hicks and the prodromal labor, it's just kind of my life right now. I try my best to ignore it and try to minimize it. So I do a magnesium supplement, I chug water, I try to make sure that I've rested, or I need to empty my bladder, things like that, just to try to get them to calm down, because walking will increase them, but it's not necessarily going to start active labor, so you're just gonna tucker yourself out. I learned that mistake by trying to get labor to come on with baby number 3, and all it did was exhaust me and exhaust my uterus. The one thing that I have experienced this past week that has been extremely excruciating painful is my belly button area. My abdominal muscles are definitely ripping. And I talked to my doctor last week about it, and he said that, yep, that's exactly what it is doing. The way Huxley is positioned in my pelvis, his booty is like pushing forward and his head is like wedged down in my pelvis, and it is causing like extreme round ligament pain and my belly button to be like an excruciating amount of pain. I did some lift and tuck movements, and I used my rebozo and kind of wrapped, where you wrap it around and then pull the ends over your shoulder to kind of lift him up and in, and that made a world of difference. Just doing it that one day has made such a difference. I can tell his position is shifted quite a bit. He's not as far out as he was doing like the torpedo Snoopy belly, and he is more like over top of my pelvis and kind of tucked in a little bit better. And I'll wrap my belly with my rebozo. I find that my rebozo works better than the maternity band or the maternity belts that they give you, because it pulls in your stomach instead of just lifting up the bottom. I've also noticed I have had a loss of appetite. I'm just not very hungry, and I'm not hungry, like when I do eat, I don't eat a lot. And if I do eat, if I find something that I do want to eat, it is kind of been weird lately. It's very specific. I'm wanting more of a sweeter palate, which I usually don't like sweets, and I'm talking like peanut butter and jelly or vanilla wafers or animal crackers. I've had a craving for a ton of fruit. So I have kept the house stocked with fruit, but I typically try to go for more of a low carb, low sugar, meat and cheese kind of diet. So it has been a little bit different for me, but I'm going with it. And then I just try to make sure I'm still getting in my vegetables, and I'll eat a can of vegetables as a meal. So I've still been doing that. TMI, I have started to experience a loose stools. So I know that this is another sign that labor is imminent. Now, granted, I am 37 weeks. It could be next week. It could be tomorrow. Who knows? But I can tell my body is definitely getting prepared for labor. So the loose stools have started. Two things that I have noticed, and I have not mentioned in my other videos, that are kind of like that weird, embarrassing, random pregnancy symptom, is the darkening of my armpit area. Now, someone will have the darkening in their armpits. They'll get it like on their kneecaps or their elbows and their face and like their panty line area. I only experience it really in my armpits, and the skin just gets darker. When the baby comes, eventually like the skin will start to get lighter again. But I did notice this week, I thought like I had a black shirt on and it had rubbed, but it wasn't. It's just my skin color again. And skin tags. I have noticed skin tags just randomly, like on the side of my breast, all kinds of places, just like not a lot, but just a few skin tags. For ultrasound update, since I am one who gets an ultrasound every week, we did a BPP last week and another BPP today, and that is a biophysical profile. With that, we are just checking to make sure that the fluid level is still stable. We check his heart rate. We check to make sure he's practicing breathing. We check for movement. So he needs to pass all those. I think it's a score of like 8, and of course he always gets an 8 out of 8, like within the first 30 seconds. Last week we did get to see his face a little bit, but this week, today, we did not get to see his face at all. You could see kind of his ear, and we do know that he has some hair in the back. And when we seen his ear, you could see like the chunk of his cheeks. So he is going to be a chunky little thing, I'm telling you. The doctor said he would not be surprised if he's around or close to 8 pounds right now. Today he was, of course he's head down. I do not anticipate him moving. He's been head down for a very long time, and he's very, very deep in my pelvis. He's head down, and he was looking at my left hip with his body kind of curled up and around in my tummy, which is not a terrible position. I want to say we checked this past weekend I checked cervical dilation, and I was probably like a 2.5, 3, and about 75% of face. So things are starting to happen slowly but surely, but of course it could be 2 weeks from now, who knows. But my body is definitely moving in the right direction of getting this little boy earthside. As far as baby prep, I am pretty much done. I've done just about everything. This past week, we really started to knock out all of the last minute things that I have kind of held off on. Once I hit 36 weeks, we really hammered through that list. So we got the boys' room done, we got my belly cast done. That video is coming out very soon. The car seat base is installed, the car seat's clean, co-sleeper's clean. What else? All my birth stuff is done. If you haven't seen my video that I put up last week on my home birth prep, go check that out if you are interested in anything home birth, or if you're just curious what kind of preparation do home birthers do. Now, granted, that will look very different from person to person, but you can go check out and see what I've done. So I think that is about it. I am going to grab my tape measure and I will show you my belly. little man is definitely growing, like always. I feel sometimes like the shape is starting to change, but I think that's just as we get closer and closer to labor. He is going to position himself differently in my pelvis, which can actually make me look smaller, but I feel like I am super like rounded and filled out on the bottom of my belly. Ooh, and the black is slimming, right? So this is my belly with the shirt on. And then from the front, you really can't see because it's black. Oh. From the side. And then there he is. It definitely feels like he's pulled in. Like a couple of days ago over the weekend, like he was so low and pulling like this way. It was just excruciating. But it is still very round when you go this way. I'm just big. I'm just big. So from the front. The side. And as you can see, if I can get this to focus, my poor belly button hurts so bad. Oh. We'll go ahead and measure him. I was 50.5 inches last week. So honestly, I hope there's not like a drastic change from last week to this week. Like, I don't think there should be any more drastic changes. Oops. Well, if I can get this straight. All right, there we go. Let's see, is it perfect? And we are right at, well, let's see. Does it look like it's about where it's been measuring? Yeah. Okay, so I would say, well, I would say we're just about 52, so it's gone probably 1.5 inches, and I'm having a contraction right now. Oh, that's how you can tell. He starts to make these weird shapes and pulls down, and I try to pick him back up. Oh. That is it for my 37-week update. I will do another one next week if we hit 38 weeks. But between now and then, please drop your questions in the comments below. I went through and gathered some of the questions that I have on my other videos, but I would like for you guys to add more, or just add any. What kind of questions do you have about fertility, since this is a fertility treatment baby? What do you have about like pregnancy or childbirth or postpartum? You can absolutely leave those in the comments. I will have a Q&A video coming out very, very soon. I think I'm going to try to do that within the next couple of days, along with getting my belly cast video out. But that is it for now. We are officially on baby watch for baby Huxley. If you don't follow me already, check Instagram and my Facebook page. I'll leave those links below, and I probably will update there sooner than I will on here, just because it'll take me time to sit down and edit my birth video and all that kind of good stuff. Or I wonder if you guys, would you want me to just do like a really quick like, hey, baby's here's Huxley, and just like a real short snippet video? while I'm finishing editing my birth vlog. If that's something you're interested in, definitely leave that in the comments below too. Like always, bye guys.